Welcome. Chris, let's do this. Back, don't back. Strong opinions on crowdfunding projects running live currently. I'm going to give you 8 projects, my opinions, my thoughts, and why you should either get in or get out. Let's do this. First up, Ascension Tactics Inferno. Almost $300,000. A few days left here. What do you need to know for this tactical deck building skirmish style game? My first opinion on this one is going to be don't back. But let me tell you why, because all of these are going to be, not that they're good games, not that they're bad games, you know. I'm not going to be talking about bad games in general because, you know, I don't want to waste your time. But if you're looking at these games as a good game, what do you need to know? Well, the fact of the matter is it's not really a good value unless you are a heavy miniature person. If you don't want the miniatures, skip this, get the standalone expansion at retail for $40. And you're going to get the free shipping because, as you always do, you're going to get up to the free shipping threshold. And you're going to save yourself probably $40 here. $60 plus shipping. It's going to run you $85 at the end to get this earlier at a retail level pledge. And if you go back to the first one, they didn't even offer a retail level pledge. They just said $99 for the base game. And if you go over to Oracle here, you can see it's $40. So it's going to probably run about the same on the second time around. And so it's going to be a big $20 difference price point wise, plus another $20 to $25 shipping. That is a whole nother cost of a board game. That's a lot of money. Again, I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I think you should heavily look at this if you have any interest in deck building, as well as deck building in a new way. I think this looks like an absolutely freaking fantastic game. But I don't think it's probably going to be worth your money to get it on crowdfunding unless you need to spend the extra $75+ to get the miniatures. That's $75 for literally miniatures alone. Take that for what you will, but that's why it's number 1 on the don't back. Number 2 here, Stefan Feld City Collection, Vienna and Cuzco, the latest from the Feldian City Sprawlopolis collection. I'm going to go strong here again. Don't back. Not because I think that either of these are going to be bad games, but I think there's just not enough known. I think people are feeling a little bit all over the place with Hamburg, Amsterdam, New York, and Marrakesh. I will say that if you want it, the only reason I would say to back is because it's a better price. Queen Games has shown us better price crowdfunding versus retail. However, they really downgraded the quality content that was going into this in terms of like the game trays and in terms of the extra deluxeifications. And then they also raised the price point plus shipping. And so that business model, especially when I have Hamburg sitting right here, not very impressed by the deluxeifications there, I'll be frank with you. And now I'm going to have to pay more, a 20 to 30% surcharge for more with less. That's why I have to say it's a strong don't back on crowdfunding right now. If you play somebody's game and you like it, or if you watch reviews after it's out, because there's only like one video out right now, then you pick up a collection, you pay a premium, right? But right now, with the changes made, it's enough to make you go, it's not exactly like Isla Isla. It's not exactly like Bora Bora. It's different. Am I going to like those changes? You don't know. You don't know. Just like with Hamburg and Bruges. You don't know. So if you're not willing to bank on this, because this is also one, sure, you could make money on it, maybe. But it's also maybe not going to be in high demand. And so are you willing to sit on it for 6 months or 8 months after you get it just to make $20? That's what you have to think about, because this is kind of the question here. So that's why, again, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a bad game. I think it's going to be a fine game. You know, I look at Vienna here and I think Vienna is the one I want. It's a little bit less complicated than Cuzco, and I think it'd be more up my alley, but I can't justify a base pledge here of Vienna right here for deluxeifications $130 and $78 for, you know, plus shipping $100 for a game that I'm just not sure of at all whatsoever. And that's an expensive retail game, and Queen is just jacking up the prices through each of the campaigns. So it's becoming harder and harder to swallow. Not that it's, again, a bad product, but it's not for me, and I'm going to pass on it. Now we're going to go over to Huang. If you've watched any of my other videos, you're going to know what my answer is for this one already. My answer is back this. If you have any interest in Yellow Yangtze, this is your Yellow Yangtze for a cheaper price, because Yellow Yangtze is not going for cheap on the retail market right now, on the secondary hand. You pull up Board Game Geek here, the lowest price for any Yellow Yangtze. Ignore the $30 ones. Those are for replacement bits. The $120 is a little bit high, but this $90 one is the lowest one on Board Game Geek right now that you can get. We pull up the price history. Again, you're seeing everywhere from 40 to 50 to 60, more recently up to $100. So when you go back over to Huang here for a second and you say, okay, what's the actual standard pledge? If you're like me again and you don't want plastic and you want to pay the bare minimum, it's going to cost you 45 euros. So less, even if you include shipping, because I guarantee over on Board Game Geek, guess what? They're going to make you pay shipping there too. Not many of those people on Board Game Geek will ship it to you for free, right? So that's what you have to think about. And if you really want to bling this out, you can get the 5-player expansion. You can get the deluxe version now for even less if you want the plastic. Or you skip the plastic altogether and you get either the wooden set or the double-sided playing mat. And if you were backing early, you're going to get this for free. So you could get essentially almost the same price for the double-sided playmat and the Royal Palace and the base game if you were following beforehand, for the price of what Yellow Yangtze would offer you at retail, and you get it brand new and no questions asked. And you know, you also get an awesome double-sided neoprene playmat. Now that neoprene mat, I'll be frank with you guys, I think is too expensive. And so I can't see myself picking it up if I was going to necessarily, but I'm tempted just to get it as an add-on alone. I'm not really interested in the Royal Palace. I'm not necessarily, as intrigued by that now they've announced what it does. But if you have any interest in Yellow Yangtze, you go and you get the standard pledge because you get the meeples. Maybe you just add on the wooden leader set and you call it good. Call it a day. There you go. Now we're going to go up with one that's a little bit more divisive. This one's going to be a very, very split. And this one's almost a push. Lords of Vegas here. We are almost at 200% funded from Loan Shark Games. Just like Huang, the push with this one, the one that makes this so difficult is that this is out of print and it's just not available on the secondary market. And so are you willing to pay for it? I really don't like the fact that they said, we're going to make you pay. We're going to integrate a 5 and 6 player expansion into the base game. I really don't want to pay extra for that. That drives me crazy. At the same time, this is going to be costing you less, just like Yellow Yangtze versus Huang, if you get it now compared to trying to find a copy on the secondary market. Again, frame of reference, Board Game Geek. You can go to eBay. Don't go to eBay. It's always going to be more on eBay. But look, lowest price one here is $100 for a second edition from potentially 2010. You go over to the price history. Yeah, there's going to be some discrepancy, but are you willing to sit on it and wait on it to get a guarantee that it's going to be $70 plus shipping? When you go back over here to the crowdfunding page and it's $65 plus shipping. And then if you look at it, well, I get the extra 5 to 6 player expansion thrown in for free. Okay, I mean, that's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. It's not a bad game. Expansions are, again, relatively expensive though. A $40 and a $50 expansion here to go along with that. And yeah, it's more than one expansion. There's got a combo system here. But you get the base game. If you're really interested in this, you get the base game. Or assuming they're doing a pledge manager here, which I would figure that they are, you get something else in the actual pledge manager. Now, the other thing I will say, when you look at the FAQ here, I give Loan Shark Games some credit here because they are helping out. They're going in on a little bit extra. If you were one of those people that missed out on, because there was like shortage supply from the first campaign prior to this, and because there was a shortage supply on the campaign prior to this, they say that if you missed out on that, if you were one of those people, you're going to get the base set, Underworld, Americana, and Con Jobs with shipping already covered. So you know what? Loan Shark Games, thank you. So that's why I say ultimately, though, either way, you probably should just get the base game with this one, because as with all Kickstarter expansions, your mileage may vary. And I see very few Kickstarter expansions that are must-haves, more at the retail side of things. That's a whole nother video coming later this week, though. Now I'm going to go back over to a game I covered briefly in the crowdfunding. This was my sleeper pick of the week a couple weeks ago. This is Tether, a 2-player asymmetric card game that's sort of like the Mind the Game with cards that are flipping on a rotational basis, sort of like Scout, if you're familiar with that. Look, it's got $8,000. It's got nearly 500 people. It's got 2 weeks left. How to steam broccoli? Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? But what's the price point on this one? The print and play is only $6. Get a $15 base pledge. Call it good. Back this if you have any interest in a card game for 2 players. Boom, there you go. This is like the 2-player the game, which is a game I love. That's why you should be interested in this one. That's why I'm probably going to be backing at this point. I feel that strongly that this is just a solid 2-player standard card game that's going to appease and appeal to a lot of people when it gets broader mass appeal. So if you have any interest in this whatsoever, great price point, card game, small company, back it. Similarly speaking, Bound, home and print abstract game. 12 days left. All you do is move around 4 little tiles in the center of this, 4 little tiles on the outside of things, try and trap your opponent's piece. It's a print and play. It's a freaking good abstract game. You go and you back this because you can back 10 of these for all the other stuff that'll get you 1 pledge somewhere else. And it's only actually going to cost you 1, so you can probably get, 50 or 100 of them. So that's why you get this one. Back it. Boom. There you go. Next up. Blueprints of the Mad King Ludwig, flip and sketch. You know where I'm going this one if you covered it previously. I think this looks like a fantastic roll and write game. This takes all of the things that I like about Castles of Mad King Ludwig. It takes all of the things that I don't like of Castles of Mad King Ludwig and gets rid of them. It keeps the good stuff, gets rid of the extraneous, finicky setup, tear down sort of things. It's coloring it. It lets you do it angles. You can, position it differently. I think they've got more asymmetry going on. It takes all of the upkeep of Castles of Mad King out, and I think it looks freaking fantastic, just like Sagrada Artisans. Great standalone in the line of those popular games, and my recommendation at this point is don't back it. A little twist there in case you weren't paying attention, because I don't need a pencil sharpener, right? I don't need the extraneous deluxeifications that are going along with this. Plus, just like Vienna Cuzco, I feel like it's being taken advantage of a little bit. I feel like just with Vienna and Cuzco, you're including things that just aren't necessary. Deluxeifications are including colored pencils, and then if you're getting the retail pledge, you're not even getting the stretch goals. So there's no point in getting this. I feel really weird. If you get a pledge level without stretch goals, it makes no sense to include that. So you either get the deluxeifications with everything, or you get the retail edition, which doesn't come with all of the extras. And I guess the question is, do you need some of these extras in terms of its actual freaking gameplay content? And that irritates me when you pledge lock gameplay content. I don't care how big or how small you are. And plus, I don't need to pay $7 for an add-on for, whatever colored pencils it is. So I think it looks like an amazing game, but I say if it's really that good, you pick it up at retail as well. And guess what? You're probably not going to miss out on that much gameplay content. And you'll probably be just as happy with it at that side of things for probably like a third of the cost, because it's going to be $70 plus shipping. It's going to cost you probably $30 at retail. Get your free shipping in there. There you go. So what do we got last up here on the agenda this week? We got Pocket Paragons round 2. I am a sucker. I am a big, longtime standing fan of Penny Arcade and Acquisitions Incorporated, right? If you're not familiar with them, the webcomic and the D&D sort of at PAX conventions. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love 2-player skirmish games. And this one is just funded, and it has almost a month to go at this point. And this is a 2-player, 7-card, asymmetric dueling type game, anywhere from, a couple minutes to half an hour, and back and forth. They're giving you a whole bunch of Penny Arcade stuff. They're giving you all of the old stuff as well with upgrades, including the mini expansions. You can pick and choose however combination or combinatorial things you want. They're adding in more. They're slowly revealing all of the other stuff that's going to be going along with it. I'm a sucker again for Penny Arcade, and that's why I have to say, don't back this. The Penny Arcade stuff that I have seen in the past, for the game-wise, the previous one actually from Lone Shark Games, Thornwatch, was not a good game. Now, I give a lot of kudos here to Solus. I think Solus puts out a quality product, but I think this one's a little bit hard to tell because some of the Board Game Geek ratings are a little bit all over the place. Some people really love it. Some people are like, okay, the first time or two, it's a little bit more of a novelty asymmetric game. And then a couple of later times, does it really hold up as much as I want it to? If you're especially looking at the 2-player asymmetric games and going, okay, do I want this versus something else? Now, again, not saying a bad game whatsoever, but what I'm saying is you go over to Google, you go to one of these other products, you pick up one of these other expansions right now for anywhere between 15 and 25 bucks, plus or minus shipping, and you try it out yourself before you back it. And that's the main reason, because this one is actually one that you can try out right now. You could order it in the next couple days, have it in a couple days, play it for a week or two, and then figure out when you go back over here to the page whether or not you want to get more of it or not. And so that's why I would say pause, don't back right now. But if you want to, you got plenty of time as well, because you can get some more of the Acquisitions Incorporated along with that, because I think the price point is relatively good for the $24 that you're getting here compared to what you're getting at retail. And that's because you're getting a little bit of the stretch goal content here. You're getting a little bit extra than otherwise what would just be at one box of retail. So that's why I say hold off. For now, I'm getting it because this one is a try before you buy, just because it is a little bit different. It's a little bit lighter than a lot of your other 2-player asymmetric duelers that you may be used to. So you got plenty of time. So just push P, pause button, go check it out and see if you want more of it or not. There you go. Crowdfunding, 8 games, strong recommendations. You guys wanted it based off the comments on the 7K giveaway video. So there you go. Let me know what you think. If you like this, we're going to be doing more of it because, you know, sometimes it's nice to give the overview. Sometimes it's nice to give an opinion where my thoughts are at because I'm always wrong too in the comment section, according to you guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you're backing. Let me know why you're backing or why you're not backing. I know you guys can comment now. So now leave me some more comments and I will answer them in the comment section below. And I'll try to, you know, not get too dejected when you tell me how wrong I am. Subscribe if you want. Can we make 10K by the end of the year? Should I give something away if we can hit 10K? Should I give something massive away if we can do 10K? Because you guys like the 7K. Tell your friends. I'm not on a lot of people's radar still. Let's change that. Have a great day and a great month. It's March. Freaking sweet.